So this is the July build of Time to Kill. July 7th, 1988. Duke Nukem Time to Thrill. What else can I say? Yesterday I played the June build. Seems like there's no rolling demo this time around. They disabled it. Or it's not playing for some reason. I'm going to be skipping over the Western levels except 3 because, to my understanding, the first, for what I played with June beta, the first, like, 4 levels are effectively very similar to the final. It's level 4, which will be level 5, really, when things start getting a lot more interesting. So let's see if True Grit got any changes. This level was last updated on July 11th, 98, according to the files. Is there much difference between the June and July builds and the retail? A lot. Once you get past like the first few levels, every single level after that is either super unfinished, has loads of sections that straight up don't exist. Okay, they added in bridges. I don't remember this from yesterday. They updated the level. Like for instance, the first medieval level has like this chest section that seems to be some sort of puzzle section, but it's not clear. Okay, this is an infinite hole.
It's ass-kicking time.
Okay, that endless hole wasn't there. Let's restart. Seems to be like this seems like to be an older set of menu select options. Anyways, nothing here. It's unclear how this would work out. Okay, so now this section I think has bridges. I don't recall this in the final, excuse me, not the final, the previous version of the level. There's still no quick select when holding okay, you do that, as I guess. You can also do that. Oh, let's... I don't know what the fuck that is, but let's go. Oh. Jumping is still fucking awkward as hell. This with each map is... Yeah, that I realized. Okay, does the lava work this time around? Track with this. Oh, stone key. Okay, so now I can pick up the fucking thing. Okay, so there's a bit more progression here compared to June. I don't remember this stuff in June. Okay. So it should be noted that select still doesn't pause the game, which is amazing. Let's see if the my boot changed. No, it's still the same as the previous build. Some of the texture here looks fucking awful. That never gets old. Okay. Oh, jeez, why does it lag so much? Whoa. Okay, enemies seem to be more accurate this time around. Um, okay. I can move. Ugh. I'm gonna give myself the all the stuff. Fuck it. Okay, so it still uses the flamethrower effect, sound effect for the jetpack. Unclear what this area was for. Nothing interesting here. Okay, so I got the key, so this is unnecessary. Weapon upgrades are still separate. Separate weapon. Interestingly, laser Gatling gun I just noticed has a lower ammo cap than the regular Gatling gun. I wonder if there are ammo pickups for the upgrade weapons. So, okay, so the progression was to get 3 stone keys, one there, the other 2 like here. And then you have to use them to get this section.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing interesting here. fuck are these things? And this is the area where you face, this is boss level 1, I think. Which looks substantially different than, obviously, the same area where you fight the Ripper. So yeah, the progression seems to be that you have to get 3 stone keys. One to gain access to each area. I guess it's stone key 3, the one in the lava section. This is the one that will gain you access to the boss level. And then we have to kill the boss. The presence of boss level 1 though seems to suggest that they're already in the process of potentially eliminating it. I will have to compare with the June build. I wonder if there are more differences here. But yeah, that seems to be it. There's not much else to talk about through Grid. The idea seems to have been pick up 3 stone keys. Each one opens up a different part of the level, and that one would have gain access to the boss arena. Okay, so that's okay. So let's go to Modern 2. This should be one of the more interesting levels. This level was barely started in the previous build. Okay, so different starting point. You don't get immediately butt fucked by pickups. So we're in a much better direction. But I don't remember if this is where you started off in the final. The Bootylicious low is now crumbled. Okay, that's pretty interesting. In the final version, you can go here. You see pickup strippers. In the June build, you can go here, but there are no pickup strippers. Here, now it's all blocked off. But I didn't count on my jetpack anyways. Okay, this is pretty different. All fucked up, no pickup strippers. So this is a pretty unique iteration of the level that doesn't match either June or the final.
I feel good.
I'm guessing they copied over from this time for the other version. There's a mirror here.
I'm God's gift to women.
Okay, so new line.
I'm God's gift to women.
That stripper looks what the position, whatever, it looks significantly different. So yeah, that's very different from the final. Yeah, in the final you start in front of the subway. That's close. The June build is actually closer to the final there. Here it's very different. No enemies so far. The June build actually starts you off getting basically butt fucked by every enemy in existence. You can now access the subway here. The texture seems to be really premature. In June, there was nothing there. It literally just a black void of nothing. This leads to nowhere. Yeah, you see, June and July are pretty close. Yeah, but this level right here has some major differences compared to June. Like this entire area just straight up doesn't exist in June. Okay, not much else here, but so they already started to have the idea of, okay, we're gonna have an underwater section or some. Okay, night vision. These areas don't seem to have a direct analog. Most of the differences appear to be between maps 1 and 7. I see.
I feel good.
Area of the monitors are most untouched in June and July. Okay, this is vastly different compared to the June build.
Ooh, this'll come in handy.
We're definitely interested in that case to see an early August build.
Ah.
Or late July build. Just to see what the fuck happened there. Is August 21st very similar to the final, or is it quite different? This area also resembles now the final. Okay, this leads to nowhere here, or oh, they already implemented the secret. They already implemented the secret, which wasn't there in June. Like, you know. This area's here. So no enemies here. Okay, this is very different from both the previous build and the final. Here's all the time missions. It seems to be a bug. I don't know.
Now, to find out what these things do.
Or they update stuff at that's fucking weird. I'm pretty sure that section, this area right here, even exists in the final. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Okay, the conveyor belts still don't work, but now you can actually use. Oh. Okay, so now this actually works. This didn't exist in the previous build. We still have those floating med kits. I mean, health kits. Black hallway that leads to nothing. This is still the ceiling of this is still lower compared to the final. Oh, this leads to a black area. Maybe this originally was supposed to lead to an area that they never finished. Because the way it really cuts off in the final is weird. It cuts off also as well in the June build. So the presence of a black texture there is a little interesting to say the least. Which suggests they might have tried to expand it at some point between July and August before they cut it out entirely. This still is super bare bones. No water or anything. Yeah, this section seems unchanged from June. Okay, now these tubes are actually implemented, but there's only two instead of three. Were there only two in the final version? I don't remember that. Three in final, yeah, and there were three in June, right? Yeah, I think this is the secret one, which is barely implemented, it has nothing in it. I don't see any way to get up. Okay, let me restart the level. huh? Okay, this passageway leads to nothing. That I don't remember from the final, or June for that matter. This area I remember from the final and June. Okay, this area doesn't resemble any area from June or the final. I don't remember this area. Okay, this area right here does exist. It's the area with this. Okay, so the puzzle is still not implemented here. Really. Okay, so here they already implemented this. It will be a surprise here. I don't remember if it was here. There's turning off stuff here. It opens up the door for 1 second. Oh my god, fucking. Why do they get bombarded by fucking bots? There's still no water here. I have absolutely no idea what it is. A random light. This section should clearly lead to flame jets. Now we have here all the crystals.
Damn.
So okay, so the level has a lot more to it than the well, okay, so putting the crystals does absolutely nothing. The build, the build that I was thinking for Duke 64. Okay, so that area should lead to the exit. So they're already starting to get close to the final layout. No enemies here compared to June. I wonder if this was supposed to be covered in lava. Okay, which was the one that I went in? This one? Or the other one? No, I think this is the one I need to go in. Yeah, the other one has secret. This one seems to be wider than the final, but that's it. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything else to cover about this level. I think I covered everything. You can start to see the final level emerge here. But there are some interesting changes unique to this version, to this build only. Like I mentioned before, the bootylicious being blocked off. It's actually really interesting. That's unique to this build, I'm pretty sure. This trip is taken over by pickups. Hi, Kakurima. Let's see. Yeah, it seems like at this point they weren't sure how. You just pick up the crystals here. They probably still didn't have the progression yet for how the crystal pickups were supposed to work. Here's the bathroom area. Oh, okay. Okay. You can actually open these doors. I don't think you can do that in the final. This area looks a lot cleaner than the June build. It looks substantially different. I think the June version of this area was closer to the final, whereas this one is actually quite different. Okay, there's this area where you can go up. I don't know if this was in the final. This seems to be completely disconnected from the rest of the level. Like a small little area that they cut out. Yeah, I think it covered pretty much everything in this level. So basically no enemies this time around, but the level layouts now start to resemble the final version. And there's some black like holes that seem to suggest that some levels some parts were actually meant to be expanded on before they decided not to for some reason. Now this area also leads to a black hole. I think any area that has a black texture generally seems to indicate they were already planning to put a section there, but had no idea what to put in. Yeah, that seems to be it for this level. So interesting. You start to see the final level emerge, but still quite different. Let's see. Medieval 1. Okay, so still that fucking theme song. Now the bridge isn't drawn, so I guess I have to find. The necrobrains still look fucking scary as shit.
Oh yeah.
I think I killed one by accident. We have to blow this up instead of pushing it compared to the final. I don't remember if this secret was in June. I don't think it was. Nope. Song fuck is okay. Pickups still look different. They don't have sound effects for their guns.
Ooh, this'll come in handy.
I don't remember if there was a bed kit even there. I don't remember this area from June. I'm not sure if I remember it from the final. Some areas I'm not sure if my mind's playing tricks on me, but I don't recall them in either one.
I feel good.
This area is in final, but it's not in June, right? Because I don't remember this in June. I think it wasn't in June. But yeah, now the final goal of we have to find the. Oh, well, I went the wrong direction. The map has a whole new objective here. Yeah, I played it in June. Remember. Man, this fucking song sucks. No wonder they replaced it. What the fuck is this? Man, those fucking things are so fucking creepy. Okay, does this area exist in June? I'm pretty sure it doesn't, or even in the final. This is unique to this build. This is, yeah, this area I think might be exclusive to July. I don't remember it seeing in June either. Skeleton key. So yeah. Oh, it doesn't look back? Doesn't this section look back in the final? Oh, there it is. Never mind. I was about to say, hey, it originally didn't look back, but no, it does. More octave here than the final version. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so the bridge is run. So okay, so that part is now like the final. The nuclear logo now exists here. It wasn't in June. Still no skies though. Nothing behind here. The jewels stuff like Mortar was apparently was added in August, so it has no point there. It's just detail they added in that didn't exist. Okay, don't die from a point-blank shotgun blast, will ya? Man, that sucks. Man, the freeze actually sucks in this one. Okay, the Virgin Wall joke is here. It wasn't in the June build. This area I think is a little bit differently structured than in June. It's much more closer to the... Whoa. final. There's also a key here that I don't remember in the final. Actually, it's a key I don't remember. Okay, so this entire area is very different from June, and I'm pretty sure from the final, so I don't remember it being like
Oh, yeah.
yeah, this area now more closely resembles the final. Okay, I think that's the Clato Vera Nicto. Okay, that is very different. This is entirely different from the final. You use the book. I have like a flowing sections. Okay, this is unique to July. This is not present in June. In June, it's closer to the final, somewhat. Completely different. Completely fucking different. This area was in June, but wasn't in the. I think it was in the final. But one joke that was in June that we saw yesterday, but it's not here. Here there was a sheep in the bed. There was a guy, and the implication is that the guy was gonna fuck the sheep. And that's not here. Also, the sheep were explosive. There was also a sheep here. And when you shot the sheep exploded. I don't know why the sheep explode. I really don't know. I don't know if it's a joke or if it's a bug. Or if... But yeah, no sheep fucking in this build. He got caught. I'm guessing somebody probably told, hey, we're gonna have sheep fucking as a joke to the SRB. And they were like, no guys, no, we don't fuck sheep here. And that was that. This area is in the final. This area wasn't in June. This is starting to resemble the final, but the lighting is quite different, much grimmer. I can tell right off the bat. This area wasn't in June, but was in the final. This is where you put the jewels. The fucking dumbass. Oh, now this is where they put the chest section in. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Okay, so how the fuck does this work? Okay, the door is that invisible wall? What? Oh, okay? Is this way you can actually push it? Oh, okay, I get it. You push this, and that opens up the secret area. Oh, okay, that's actually sad that he cut this shit out. Okay, it's not much of a puzzle, but yeah, that was replaced by the jewel shit. Yeah, you just said that if you're out by my own. That's actually really fucking cool. So I'm guessing that in the June build, the idea was probably the same, but they just hadn't implemented anything. They just had a bare idea. Okay, so this should be the exit. But it's not working. Oh, there. Instead of the Clato Verda Nicto thing, press this. Okay, the level exit isn't implemented here, but yeah, you can quote-unquote beat the level. Okay, so this is an interesting level. It's in between the earlier June design and the final. It has completely unique areas or mechanics that don't exist in any other build. This is easily one of the most interesting levels in this build, by a mile. But was that here? I think it was. Yeah, yeah, this is the final. Never mind. My memory was fucking up. Okay, so let's examine a bit the floating sections here. This was done with chains in the final. Here it's floating platform. This area was already in the June build. Okay, so they removed the coffin with the pentagram. That's exclusive to June, seemingly. I think the lighting here is pretty different. Okay, you can. I'm not sure if you can get energy weapon and flamethrower there in the final. There's definitely less detail with no torches here. But yeah, pretty interesting in general. Easily one of the most interesting levels in terms of how it evolved. Can you move all the pieces? No, you can't. Yeah, you can only move one piece. So yeah, it's a pretty simple puzzle. I guess that's why they cut it off, because it looks a lot more interesting than it actually plays out. That's probably the reason why it got cut. And the level was a lot shorter as a result. This probably was added with chains and platforms, because while this is a lot easier to have floating platforms, it also probably meant that the level itself was probably less interesting. And also with the jetpack, that's kind of redundant to have floating platforms anyway. We also changed the whole scope of the map. So okay, so getting close. Here was just exploration fight your way through. Yeah, in the final map, it's more about finding out where the jewels are. Whereas here, it's more just explore around. The early part, at least, is very similar. Whoa, what the fuck was that sound? At least. But yeah, really interesting. Okay, this one starts you off much closer, I think, to where the final was. Man, that fucking song sucks so hard. Compared to the June build, yeah, this is a lot closer. This area did exist in June, but it was super early. You can't open up the door, so I guess you need to do no collision again. Okay, this area seems to be, yeah, the scrapped jail cell section from the June build. They moved it here. That's pretty interesting. The jail cell section from the June build was just this like disconnected area. Now this is a lot more fleshed out. Like way more fleshed out. This section, if I recall correctly, was this section was completely cut from the final. What? This area did make it to final. This was in the June build. And it leads to fucking nowhere. In the final version, you have to do like this little puzzle to open up the jail cells. That reminds me of Death Road. This is nowhere to be found here. At least not until now. I don't see it. Drags still behave the same way they did in June. There's nothing interesting about them. This area seems to be copy-pasted. Nothing interesting here. None of these areas seem to have anything interesting there. Yeah, but in the June version, you can see several of the areas that would make the crux of the final. Like the climax of the level is already there. The intro is already there. It's just more like it's all this like the progression seems to either be different or they weren't sure how to make it. So far, these jail cells seem to be just like optional. You're able to shoot enemies, but they don't have to seem to have any real gameplay purpose beyond occasionally having a drag to hide there. Ah, I see. Yeah, the fight is super linear. So yeah, it's possible. Yeah, I'm guessing the idea was always to have like a hub level, but the difference is that in this one it was implemented, you know, with the pit. The jail section was expanded to a pit, whereas in the June build it's just like 4 different rooms and that's it. Okay, this area I remember. No switch here, but the idea is the same. This still looks quite different from the final. This is the part where you have to jump across like a little platform. Okay, the lava actually works now. Okay, a bit. What the fuck is this? Okay, so the surprise isn't here anymore. There's this weird cross thing that I don't recall in the final. There's no door here. This area is the same as this area is almost the same as in June. The difference is there now actually is Drag coming to fight you. The ambush. Okay, so the dragons work a little bit differently. The dragonflies. Yeah, the ambush with the drags doesn't seem to really exist. They're there. You have to still do the jumping platform of sorts. This section was already in June. They just added in a few enemies. There's still a drag running in prey mode for some reason. I haven't seen the gas section from the final. There's still no gas sections. Okay, this area was in the June build. The texture is completely different, and I don't know what the fuck happened to the head. This area is in the June build, but the texture is completely different. I think it was located earlier. This is what will become the gas section in the final. Different lighting compared to June, and I think the final as well. Much greener. This section would become is one of the first sections you do in the final. You can get it very early on in June. Honestly, you know what I realized? It feels like they went back to the June version of the level and built it off of that made linear as opposed to using the July version of the level. This seems to have been the all intended exit. Note that the texture matches that of Holy Terror, which is funny because this would be roughly analogous to where the level starts in the final. Which is funny because by all accounts, this seems to have been the original planned ending. Now it's the actual start, which is fucking hilarious to think about. In the June build, it wasn't clear what they were trying to do. It's like it almost feels like they spawned you in that area by mistake. But here, it's clear what it was supposed to be. It's just the hub area that they always had in mind, and it's just drastically expanded on in July. And this was supposed to be the end level. Now that's the actual what seems to have been the originally intended ending of the level. Like, wow, this level barely resembles it's weird. It heavily resembles the final, and at the same time it barely resembles it because the progression is all like backwards at times. Oh, one thing I will say is that in the June build, there was like this little open area, like this little corridor area, and that was entirely removed here. So yeah, this is fascinating. Just how this level was completely changed from a hover area to a linear area. This might be one of the levels that got the most changes. Okay, let me see if this works now. No, this still doesn't work. But they were trying, you could tell. The idea at least was there, clearly. But yeah, the gas area here doesn't work. Okay, let me see if there's anything else I haven't covered. I can kind of see why this all got cut off a bit. Some of the parts here, like this, are just copy-pasted and not particularly very interesting. The idea was very interesting, but I'm guessing they couldn't make it, the hub design level work. They just couldn't make it fun, so they just said, fuck it, let's make it a linear map. Because that's my leading theories. Also, I have to admit that this area where we had to deal with enemies you couldn't really kill easily probably pissed off a lot of playtesters, so they probably removed that. But yeah, I think I covered everything about this level, right? I don't remember. But yeah, this level went through a fuck ton of changes. Holy shit. Yeah, I think I covered everything. What pipes? I didn't see if there were any pipes. Dual lava room. What do you mean? Oh yeah. Okay. Tell me if I'm in the right zone. Do you mean this around this area? Yeah, this area is different. The ambush is different. Yeah, that already checked. There is no pipes, no gas. Like I said, the funny thing is this is the start of the level, and here it's like the complete opposite. It's like, this is seemingly one of the last things we are meant to do. But anyways, let's check. So level 8. Okay, so you start off beyond the doors. In June you start off here, but the doors don't work. This time they put you in here. This story is pretty much the same as in June, and by extension the same as the final. This part they seem to have nailed very early on in development. Nothing interesting here. There's more pickups here. They don't seem to wait in ambush, unlike in June. In June they waited to ambush you. There's no necrobrains here this time around in this area, which caused the game to crash. There were a lot more necrobrains in the June build compared to the final. They're all gone. Yeah, that probably explains why this level is not as interesting as all the other medieval levels. They probably had a lot of it much more locked down. Okay, this area I don't remember. Final? It seems, or June. This seems really bare bones. Oh, or unless it's just how different it looks. That's it. Ah, no, never mind. This was in the June build as well. Okay, this area is in the final, yeah. But yeah, you can start to see the formation of what would be the finals. Man, that fucking song. Okay, this area is still the same as in June. In that there is the jail cell is different. It looks a lot more unpolished, but it's the same idea as the final. This one, Holy Terror, seems to be a level that they say. The one exception, at least in the June build, I have to check it out here, is the how you were supposed to get to the last part. In the previous sections, excuse me, in the June build, the whole church bell puzzle, it doesn't exist. Like it just doesn't. Like it's an optional area that's not connected at all. And then they moved it to be part of the puzzle. And there's also a secret there, the one where you go in and shoot, you know, the glass panels that you find, you know, I think this bed with the lady, that also didn't exist. But the general idea seems to more or less be there. The July version of this seems to be much more polished. Yeah, but that secret passage also did not exist. Like, those two are the biggest differences. There's a spiral. Yes, there's also a spiral staircase in June. So I'm guessing if it's in June, it's probably in July. is he doing here?
Yippee-ki-yay.
Okay, so there's the library area here. Much darker lighting. Seems disconnected. I think there was a library area in June that was also kind of disconnected. Seems like they struggled quite a bit with the library area because it didn't look like a library at all in June. And I'm pretty sure the progression was a little different in here. There was actually a door you could go through to get to this area in June, and you can't in this one. Yeah, I think this led directly to it. I need to check, but I think the progression was a little bit different here. There's also still no glass panels to shoot on like the final. That didn't seem to come into much later in development. Yeah, this is the area that leads to the library. No, okay, this area I'm not sure if it is. No, okay, go to this before. Yeah, this is the library section. The way it's structured here versus June is pretty different. Ultimately, I would have to make screenshot comparisons, but it's very different how it's structured. Okay, loads of bug drags. This model I still think wasn't in the final. Was in June. Still unique texture. Yeah, they fucked up with the image. You can still shoot up the glass panel. The lighting is very different here, both in June and July. The lighting in the final is way better. It's probably some of the best lighting in the entire game. Still no secret passageway, as far as I can tell. That was added in after July. Though the cross already exists. There's also a drag that's there. Okay, so the church puzzle was added in here finally. It wasn't added in the block in the June build. In June build, it was just like a separate optional area. Now it's actually been added in. So now it much closer resembles the final. So there seems to be, I think there's more bells here, and also the bells look very different. Whoa, what the fuck did he do? So you start to see. So this was like a slightly more polished up version of the final. There's actually some interesting differences. It's not as almost untouched as you say it was. There's actually quite a few interesting differences here. It's like an in-between version between the July version, the June version, and the June version and the July version. If I had to describe it, it's sort of like an in-between. By the way, the progression now in this area, at least now, much more closely resembles the final. I still wonder how you're supposed to get to the sewer section here. I don't think they figured that out yet. In either June or July. You need to use a giant cross to access a church. Oh, really? Man. What? There's no enemy here this time around. This cross? Are you talking about this cross? I figure it's just meant to go here. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll do that. Give me a second. This enters the area here. So never mind. The church bells still are in the progression here. Give me a second. I guess I have to disable the collision stuff. Supposed to make the cross turn the other way. Are you sure about this? I'm pressing the X button here. But were you able to ever do it? Yes? The cross turns and faces the church. Try to figure it out. Am I doing something wrong here then? I see. Yeah, I guess it's, or... Yeah, I guess I fucked up and glitched the level out. Okay, so that's intended... I'm guessing in June that was the idea as well. Which, like you said, it explains why Yuki's kneeling in front of a cross in the credits, because that's the intended progression. But the church bells got moved here, so they were already starting to get close to the progression of the final. Okay, so... Yeah, there's still some interesting differences here. It's just much more subtle compared to how big the previous differences were. Okay, I forgot about boss 1 and 2. I forgot about boss 1 and 2. To be honest, I think I prefer the final puzzle than the one we got. The final puzzle I think was cooler, but I wish you could open the door to go back. Okay, so he doesn't do the jump stomp anymore, seems to be. He doesn't do the jump stomp anymore. I guess they thought that was too broken. He still dies in like 2 fucking seconds. That's... yeah, there seems to be like a little like the platform to go up. That's one difference level wise, and the lighting is a little bit different. But yeah, that one was as uninteresting as it gets. Oh, who followed me? Thank you, Mortimer, for following me. Okay, so Duke is still disappearing here. This level's... this level still seems to be the same. I think they changed the lighting to be a little purple, and that's it. I don't think there are any differences level-wise. The boss seems to behave the same. He seems to have the exact same sound effects. Yeah, there's nothing else to see here. Yeah, this is the original boss. Yeah, it's barely changed from June. I think they changed the lighting. That's literally all they did. Okay, so Modern 3. Okay, this level definitely is a lot closer to June. Notice the nuke logo here. Which seems to happen for a very old version of the first present level. Yeah, this seems really similar to June so far. Right down to the glitch window there. Yeah, I think this might be the same as June. I don't see any differences. I think the lighting might be a bit different, but that's about it. Yeah, this is also the same as June. I think they now weren't just walking in place in the air. That's it. That's the difference. Still missing objects here, where there was a lot of like random stuff tossed around, just like in June. This is also the same as in June. Yeah, it seems like episode 3 is when the differences start being noticeable. Just like it's the first 2 episodes that had the most. Well, the first one I have to check, but it seems like episode 2 or like the medieval section and present 2. Those are the levels that got the most changes in July, by a mile. Episode present 3, episode 3 doesn't seem to be all that different. Okay, this section I think I don't remember in June. Unless I was too sleepy today, I think, and not in the final either. This is the area with the pigs in the final. Again, more or less the same as it was in June. No difference. No, Pig Factory June. It's really close to there. Yeah, I don't see much difference between Pig Factory here and Pig Factory. Pig Factory is more interesting in August, I would assume. This is in the final. Yeah, yeah. This year I don't remember it being in final. It was in June, but it wasn't in final. And I'm assuming it wasn't in August either. Yeah, it seems like the biggest difference is I've seen so far in this level is that these enemies aren't as walking in place in the air as more. There's more enemies of the elite rags. That's it. That seems to be the big difference. This area is still the same as in June. Yeah, exactly the same as in June. Which this area did show up in final, but has a different layout. So again, bare bones layouts of what would become there. Yeah, Big Factory isn't very interesting here. They didn't work on it. We have to check the file list to see if they actually did any changes, because it seems like literally just almost the same as June. Like, if there are any differences, it's really solo stuff like the enemies. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna restart the level because I got confused on where to go. I didn't play episode 1 here, which is, you know, the Wild West section. I'm guessing that section is also very different in this one. I should also note that I focus more on the episode 2 because episode 1, Wild West, seems to already be very similar to final from what I played. There's probably more interesting differences I just didn't notice. This is where the time machine is in the final. They still didn't add them in. Okay, there's an RPG drone here, which I don't remember in the final. This area is in the final, from what I remember. It's pretty close. So some parts are very similar to the final. Is it canon? I think it is. I'm not sure. Maybe different model though. Yeah, this looks the same as June. There's nothing interesting here. I'll already cover this. Yeah, I guess most of the efforts were in the first 2/3 of the game. The last third probably isn't very interesting, but we'll try. Yeah, I have to launch as well. I might take a break for a second as well. Oh wow, this looks really okay. They put a sky texture for once. One that I remember in the final. It still starts off the same way as it does in the June build. But yeah, wow, sky texture. Yeah, you still need to activate this. This is roughly analogous to where you start in the final. Better lighting in general, I think. Although the pickups are still busted. Blonde Roman citizen, you can't do anything to her. Killing her doesn't spawn any enemies. Oh no, it does. It just takes a while. Yeah, so far very similar to June, just with the exception of the sky texture. The puzzle for this still is not implemented. This is the same as in June. And it still leads to basically nowhere. I think there's enemies here and there weren't any in June if I recall correctly. So there's one difference, but it's pretty minor. Yeah, the differences at this point seem to have become a lot more subtle. Like, here's a sky texture, here's more enemies, that's it. It's not as big as the differences that were in episode 2, or so to speak, the medieval section, where entire levels basically barely even resemble the final. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, same as in June. No, I think there's more enemies this time around. I will have to compare, but I think there's a few more enemies. I didn't pay much attention to the enemies here yet. Yeah, this is also in June. These weird necro brains that have pickup models for some reason. The pickups that have are drags. They're actually drags. Again, more or less the same as in June. I think the layout of the blocks here that you have to land on is a little bit different. Which is an area. This area was cut from the final, anyways. I think this is roughly analogous to where you go to the level exit in the final. Yep. But barring the sky texture and I think the different lighting, it's pretty much the same as the level exit from the final. I mean, from the June level. This wasn't changed. This is still the same as in June. Yeah, I think the differences have basically just ended. At this point, it's just like it's the same as June, except for like a small polish here and there. Most of the big differences seem to happen in the first 2/3 of the game, based on what Mortimer is telling me. And I wouldn't be surprised if the first episode was actually very similar to the final. I have to look at that into more detail. But yeah, there's not much else to talk about here. Episode 2, since it was going through a major recreate, is a level that has a lot more changes. This part was in June. I think they want a pickup and a couple of objects there. That's it. That's all they did. Barely any progress. Still the same as in June. No difference. Yeah, not much else to say about this. I already played this pretty much. I wouldn't be surprised if Roman 2 and Roman 3 are more or less the same. I think you start off with the same section as in June. Yeah, this looks the same as June. I don't see any difference. There's no sky texture either. I honestly have to check the file list to see if there's actually any changes to these levels, because I wouldn't be surprised if they are the exact same. There's a door you have to go through. This is still the same. Dragonflies ambush you here like in the final. They also ambush you here in June, so that's not really much of a difference. The Rome section definitely feels like the part of the game that they had the least time to work on. Okay, so this is the ambush with the elite drags. Now we have these dogs thing. I think they have different animations here for dying compared to June. Oh no, it's just the same. This area looks pretty much this, almost different, almost the same. They added in the skeletons, so they were like weird models. They removed the white towel swing, whatever they were. There's still an enemy here that's supposed to go out, and it doesn't. So very similar to June, but just like this section. Those two doors are probably supposed to open when you finish the section. The whole Colosseum ambush. This I think has more items compared to June, but again, differences are really subtle at this point. The layouts are seem to be the same exact as in June. Yeah, this is the section that became the lava jetpack section, the final. I don't remember that white texture though. This is pretty much the same as in June. There may be some minor visual differences, but it's the same. There's nothing really interesting here that we haven't seen yesterday. Yeah, nothing interesting here. Pretty much the exact same as June. Okay, Roman 3. still starts off the same way as in June. Still has the spikes instead of the eggs. It still crashes a game, like in June. So let's see Modern 4, and then I'll probably call it quits. I'm not sure if I'll cover the Always build. I don't think so, since that one is like an actual game. Seems to be the same. Still seems to be the same as in June, or like no, I think there might be some differences. I'm just not noticing them. Okay, the final stripper like basis is still has actually been implemented. Ouch. This is still the same as June. Enemies still walk backwards. Okay, the texture in here I think is pretty different. From what I remember, this level was last edited on July 11th, 98, so this level was dropped after this. The final version, I think, has, if I recall correctly, yeah, it has this level. It's slightly more complete, and I have to restart because there's no way to get up out of the water, because I never implemented that. It's slightly different that the enemies aren't flying, or like backwards if I remember, but that was about it. The July 7th version as a result would be the closest we had before the level was scrapped, probably 4 or 5 days later. As I mentioned before, this area, this level, this is supposed to be the final boss that's spawning in, and it seems to have no model. I just realized that.
Packing heat. Oh yeah.
Okay, killing the final boss causes the game to crash. It mentions here that it's the star spawn boss in the old document for the final level. But yeah, killing the final boss actually, that part makes the game crash. This underwater section, I don't think, I'm not sure what purpose it has. Maybe the idea was that you're supposed to destroy the silo, and that would have triggered the boss to spawn in. Yeah, this seems to be the same as in June. Oh, there is a way to get out of water there. Never mind. Okay, so now they changed this. The word.
Oh yeah.
In the June Bell, there were like bridges you could destroy, but it did nothing. And now there's like wings or something at the end of the. But you can't destroy them. Honestly, it doesn't seem all that different from June, or even the final. This is a level that they seem to not have put a lot more work into it after a certain point. Yeah, I have nothing else to comment on. Episode 2, or the medieval section, really changed a lot in between this and the final. It's fascinating to analyze. Although I'm supposing it has more interesting differences for the Roman section. Roman section definitely feels like they couldn't iterate on it very much. They still did a lot of major changes, but seemingly much later. Maybe in another moment I'll go through and come through the Wild West section, which to my understanding is fairly similar to the final, at least in June, just with the extra areas. I don't know about July, but anyways, thanks for stopping by, guys. Later I'll see if I stream Fade Extra CCC. Bye bye.